have so many thoughts. It's been one of those weeks where it's just like you're just right to the edge. Here's what I think. I think that I've spent like 3 or 4 days feeling rage and confusion, suspicion, anger at people I know. It's basically division. And here's where I've arrived as of last night. I flew across the country here, so I had a lot of time to think.
Thank you for that.
Oh, no, my gosh, I should have come earlier, but it was just, I couldn't, I don't know, I didn't, I should have. But anyway, I think that this, whatever this is the face of evil, and that's kind of enough for me. It doesn't mean
correct.
The government doesn't have to get to the bottom of it. Of course they do, and, I wish I had more confidence that they will, but I want to push that. But on some level, the deepest level, I don't know how much that matters. What matters is that I know that Charlie was murdered because he was proclaiming Jesus. I believe that. He was not a physical threat to anyone. He was a completely nonviolent person and a truly decent person, as you know better than most. And he was killed because of his message. And I think we should all just internalize that. And of course, the answer is to proclaim the message louder and to live the message by loving other people. And I'm not in any way saying that, it doesn't matter, the details don't matter. They very much do. But the big picture matters most, and I just want to keep that in mind.
There's something about how it's like, they tried to paint Charlie, the media, whatever, they try to paint him as this hate monger, Nazi, misogynist, and all the rest. And then you see him on campus, and you see him with his family, and it's like, this is the nicest guy, he's the purest guy, and I feel like, in a way, that's why he's the one they targeted.
Well, of course.
That's why.
And by the way, that's another thing that I've been thinking a lot about is that the nature of evil is slander, of course. It's deception. It's lying about other people to harm them. And physical violence is the natural outgrowth of that, of course. But fundamentally, evil is slanderous. And I should probably stop being shocked by it every time I see slander, because I know a lot of the people involved, and I'm involved. So I know what slander is because I can compare it to the truth, which I know. And every single time I'm like, I can't believe they're saying that about, somebody. That's slander. I'm so shocked and angry. It's like, why am I shocked? That's the nature of it. And we have an obligation.
The devil is the father of lies.
Well, exactly. Thank you. That's exactly right. Lucifer is the father of lies. That's just true. And I'm not saying that everyone who's slandering somebody is Satan, but they are tools of evil for sure, as we all are from time to time, by the way. But I shouldn't be shocked at all. What did you think this was? That's the nature of the world. And our job is not to marinate in it or stare at it like a solar eclipse to the point where we go blind. Our job is to fight it with the truth and with love. And not abstract love, but actual love, the kind that helps other people, that elevates other people, and the actual truth, the deepest truth.
I got, in the wake of the Minneapolis massacre, because, of course, this is not the first act of evil that we've seen so far this month, and we saw this narrative coming out, and you had very prominent people, including the governor of California, saying, don't pray, right? You had this sort of don't pray message. Of course. And
well, that is the message, right?
Really. Yeah. And I don't usually go to this place publicly, but I just said, there's too much of this. And I came out, I said, prayer causes pain to demons. It causes pain.
Of course.
This is why, and when people gather and when people hold church services, when they hold mass, when they conduct gatherings of prayer, this causes immense pain to evil. And so who would want you to stop praying?
Of course.
Right? And then I said that, and that kind of went out, and media got mad at me. I don't care. And then when this act of evil happened to Charlie, there was a spontaneous call to action. And Charlie was, of course, known for his calls to action. We're doing this, we're doing the ballots, we're doing whatever we're doing. But this was a spiritual call to action that everyone heard.
Right.
And what did people do? They gathered and prayed completely spontaneously, completely independently, which Charlie would have been thrilled about, by the
Yes.
way, but everyone knew on some deep inherent level, we need to get together and pray right now.
Yeah, physically get together.
And I don't know how you can separate that from these ideas that we are in a literal spiritual war.
Yeah.
And this is playing out. It's spilling over into reality now. And it's just so obvious to me.
And we always
I
have
don't know how
been.
you can deny it.
Well,
I
it's just
don't know.
like, I had a close friend who had an alcoholic spouse and they got divorced and everyone was like, your wife was a really bad alcoholic. And he's like, I honestly didn't know. I was too close to it. And that is a feature of human nature, that we don't see the biggest things that are the closest to us. We just can't see their outlines because they are, again, too close. And I think the nature of the eternal battle between good and evil is one of those things. I mean, it's always been this way. It's always been this way from the beginning of time, and we just haven't acknowledged it since 1945 because we imagined we were gods because we had atomic weapons. But it doesn't make it any less real. And so you sort of retroactively go through your life and you're like, oh, that's what that was. I didn't even know it at the time.
That was the serpent.
100%. And there's not one of us who can't identify moments in our own lives where we've been tools of evil. I just want to keep saying that. The core Christian prayer, the Lord's Prayer given to us by Jesus, at its essence, at its center, is forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Why is it in that order? Because in order to forgive, it's very helpful to be mindful of our own shortcomings, our own sins.
Yes.
We're not in a place to judge. We are commanded to forgive as a condition of our own forgiveness. So that is kind of the conclusion you reach if you're really honest about what's happening. Like, yes, this has always been the actual battle. All the nonsense that we are mad about is just a manifestation of that. And we should see it in those terms because we should always be honest. Always be honest. And the more honest you are, the more courageous you become. You are filled with holy power when you are honest, period. The truth is, I'm resorting again to cliches and Bible verses, but it does set you free. When you make the decision internally, I'm not going to lie anymore, you become so much more powerful. Like, you can feel it because it's God's power.